Welcome, everyone. This is Tak Oda, CIO of Attaché for Business, joined here by our handy CEO, Lesa Hammond. So, what's up this week?
It's always interesting to talk about different things that come up and questions that people raise for with me. Um, this week, one of the most interesting things I think that relates probably to a lot of people is that we had somebody contact us and ask us what they should do about a manager that they had promoted about 3 months ago. They promoted this person to manager because they were such a great technician, but the person's
Oh,
really not a very good manager.
oh, this I already know this story, but let's hear more about it.
So tell me about how you know this story, Doc.
Oh, just because I think it happens everywhere. Like I don't know what gives people the impression that some just because somebody's good at what they do, they're gonna be good at managing other people to do that. It just makes zero sense. I mean, especially if you don't assume that person needs training to do that new
Exactly.
thing. Because managing
Exactly.
people is a completely different skill.
Exactly. Absolutely. And that's the whole thing. That's exactly what happened. They didn't give the person any training. They brought him on, they made him a manager, and they're like, but they were so good as a technician that they would train people who came on to do the job. They would train them to do it. And they seemed like they'd be a great manager, but they'd never been a manager. They hadn't had any training in management. And things went awry. So, yeah, some of the things that I've seen happen when somebody becomes a manager and they don't know how to manage, some of the things I've seen are: one, they don't know how to separate themselves from their old job, so they really don't take on the management role.
Right.
The other is that they kind of overcompensate and become a tyrant in the manager role. And then the other is that they really try, but they don't know what they're doing and they feel incompetent.
Mm,
So yeah, so the key is, you've got to start with training, and before you ever put the person in that role, you start
right.
with training them, giving them some additional authority, giving them some additional challenges that are management level challenges. And maybe start with, like a very junior person that they're managing as a one-on-one type of relationship initially, so that they can start to build those skills,
Right.
especially if you're a fairly small organization.
Right. Definitely. And just to give that person a sense of even if that's something that they want to do. Quite often
Yes, so
people end
true.
up in management, they're like, wait, I missed my job.
Absolutely, so true. It happens all the time where there are people who really like doing being the technician, being the subject matter expert. They don't want
Hmm.
to manage other people. And sometimes they only find that out when they have the opportunity to manage other people.
Right, exactly. Yeah, you need a little taste of it to see if they like it.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So that was
Yeah,
what I
definitely
had
not for
this week.
everybody.
Yeah, exactly. So
Yeah,
that's what we
exactly.
had this week.
All right, so you would say your advice for this, for all the scenarios you've run into, basically just kind of ease them into it, give them some training.
Right. Give them training before you put them in the role.
Right. Okay. Make sure they would even want to do it, and if they want to, make sure they know what they're doing.
Right. And
Okay.
and get them training. I mean, not you telling them what to do and how it works, but actually get them some training outside. And that's one of the things that we can offer management training to people. So, using us or using some other source is fine. It's just get them something outside of you being the person who's managing them. You should always mentor them while they're a manager and even before, but they really need some formal training.
Right. And I feel like there's kind of a hidden topic here. What we're discussing is like, honestly, I feel like if there's a manager, a higher level manager who thinks, oh, I'm going to put this person in a management position, and it doesn't occur to them that that person needs training to do it, that seems like a lack of understanding of good management skills in general, right? I mean,
Yeah,
to not get that.
that's funny that you say that, because there are so many jobs that people just think everybody can do, anybody can do. And for some reason, management almost seems like one of those.
And it's probably one of the hardest things to do, and it's definitely not for everyone. I think the closest thing that I run into all the time with this is how academics turn into professors. Like just because you're an expert at
Yeah.
something, actually, if anything, probably makes like the kind of person who's drawn into like a PhD program. I just feel like if anything, their personality is probably
Be
not
careful, Tak.
all right, fine, fine. But you know where I'm going. Just the personality that makes somebody good at something is quite often opposed to the personality that makes them good at teaching it.
Yeah.
So,
Well, yeah, I mean, we don't want to go into that whole thing of where people say those who can do and those who can't teach, or those who do, those who can do and those who can't manage. You know,
right,
sometimes a
right,
person who isn't the subject matter expert is a much better manager than the person
mhm,
who is,
right.
because a lot of times that person who is a subject matter expert and becomes a manager becomes a micromanager.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. And I also feel like, from a training perspective, too, the manager who had a hard time picking up these skills might be a little better at training people at it because they
That's
understand
true. Yeah.
how to train people. Because the people who are naturals, they're going to be like, why don't you get this?
Right.
Right. So,
Yeah.
all right. Well, I hope people are taking away some kind of lesson from this because this happens all too often. So thanks for bringing this
It
up, Lisa.
happens so often. Yeah.
Too often.
Great topic, though.
Yeah, awesome. All right. Well, thank you, Lisa, and thanks everyone for tuning in. As usual, like and subscribe, and we'll be back again soon.
Thanks, Tak. Thanks, everyone.
Yeah, thanks everybody. Talk to you soon.